from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. President Salva Kiir, four South Sudanese diplomats have left the country for foreign missions after a farewell reception at the State House in Juba. The Vice President and Chairperson of the Service Cluster has called on President Kiir to expedite the relocation of Upper Nile University to its original campus in the state capital, Malakal. And Mali's military junta has dissolved all political parties in the country amid a growing crackdown on dissent since the army seized power. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. Four South Sudanese ambassadors on Wednesday left the country for foreign missions after a farewell reception at the State House in Juba. President Salva Kiir bid farewell to the four ambassadors, namely Aton Kon to Kenya, Maurice Natali to China, Lily Adieu to Qatar, and Jacqueline Atebe to Ghana. The diplomats, who were appointed to represent South Sudan in the various international posts, were honored at the State House before their departure. They are tasked by President Kiir to enhance diplomatic ties with vital global partners. Ambassador Anthony Kon said that President Kiir emphasized the importance of proactive diplomacy, urging them to diligently advocate for South Sudan's interest around the world. President Kiir is said to have expressed confidence in the ambassador's success and wished them well in their new roles. The head of the state affirmed that their efforts would foster a strong cooperation and partnership in their host countries. The Vice President and Chairperson of the Service Cluster has called on President Kiir to expedite the relocation of Upper Nile University to its original campus in the state capital, Malakal. The university was relocated to Juba following the 2013 violence. Since 2014, the campus has been operating in Juba despite repeated requests from the university's management for its return to Malakal to foster regional stability and development. In addition, Vice President Lagu expressed concern over the unpaid salaries of university lecturers, particularly at Upper Nile University. In a separate briefing, the Vice President also informed the President about disease outbreaks detected in several parts of South Sudan. While there is no mention about the exact locations of the livestock disease outbreaks, the Vice President stressed the importance of a coordinated government response to address the health crisis and provide support to the affected communities. This is iRadio Morning News. And now to the international scene. Mali's military junta has dissolved all political parties in the country amid a growing crackdown on dissent since the army seized power. According to a presidential decree read out on the state TV on Tuesday, all meetings of members of political parties and organizations of a political character are dissolved across the national territory. It was signed by military leader Assimi Goita, who seized power after coups in 2020 and 2021 and is due to stay in power for at least another 5 years despite pledges to hold elections. The move is expected to spark fresh resistance by political parties who have been demanding the country's return to democratic rule. Since last year, the military authorities have intensified a crackdown on political activity. Russian President Vladimir Putin is not among the names listed by the Kremlin as being due to attend peace talks on the war in Ukraine in Istanbul on Thursday, despite calls from Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky for him to attend. Russia's delegation will instead be headed by presidential aide Vladimir Medinsky, according to the Kremlin statement. Zelensky had previously said he would attend the talks and meet Putin in person if the Russian president agreed, and said he would do everything he could to ensure the face-to-face meeting took place. U.S. President Donald Trump will also not be attending, according to media reports, despite previously hinting he would if Putin were there. This is iRadio Morning News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. 4 South Sudanese ambassadors have left the country for foreign missions after a farewell reception at the State House in Juba. The Vice President and Chairperson of the Service Cluster has called on President Kiir to expedite the relocation of Upper Nile University to its original campus in the state capital, Malakal. And Mali's military junta has dissolved all political parties in the country amidst a growing crackdown on dissent since the army seized power. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I am Lasuba Memo. Thanks for listening.
فتش على راديو مثالي. آي راديو هو جوابك. ليه تختار آي راديو؟ في 5 الأسباب المغنادل.
الثقة والوصول. بيعتبر آي راديو المحطة الإذاعية الأكثر ثقة وشعبية في جنوب السودان، مدعومة بالاستطلاعات الأخيرة مع قاعدة مستمعين مخلصين. حتصل رسالتك إلى جمهور واسع بشكل فعال.
شبكة واسعة النطاق. آي راديو ليست مجرد محطة إذاعية.